Disclaimer, this podcast is just for video game music appreciation. I don't own any of the music. I'm not trying to make money off of this. It's just for fun for the most part and just to put video game music out there. With that said, enjoy the show. Alright then, with a bunch of technical hiccups, I'm finally live with Sound Test Episode 5. Hey, bars. I got bars. Anyway, took long enough. Supposed to go on about 40 minutes ago, but I'm here now. So, welcome back to another episode of the Sound Test. We have a lot to talk about today. Well, not a lot to talk about. We have one big overarching thing to talk about. Rhymes with Sonic Mania. Let's start off with Capcom, though. I want to talk about them for a minute. Capcom. What little they have right now. They got Street Fighter, and they have Marvel vs. Capcom, which is an extension of Street Fighter, more or less. And you got Resident Evil, and you got Monster Hunter, and the lifeless corpse of Mega Man, and that's about it. That's not a lot. I honestly have been craving a return of one of my personal beloved franchises from them, Rival Schools. I know it's just, you could argue that it's just more Street Fighter, just they're in high school. But, you know, I really enjoyed that series. And I know they're never going to bring it back because I believe there's some copyright issues that they can't revive the series because of certain characters that weren't owned by them, and it's a whole kerfuffle that I don't really understand completely. But one thing I did really appreciate about Rival Schools, other than like the team moves and the story and just the zany weird characters, was the music. Music was great, always was. It depends on like what you prefer, because Rival Schools was during an era where it had like Capcom was doing a lot of the Capcom PlaySystem 2/3 music, like, you know, all that synthesized stuff that they were using back in the late 90s. And with Project Justice, they had more of a not metal, but like classic rock. So there's some orchestral stuff in there too. But they're both really nice. The first two songs of the night are both from Rival Schools and its sequel, Project Justice, respectively. I'm going to be playing first. Well, they're both the same stage, but they have completely different songs, depending on which game you're playing. First, I'm going to play Taiyo High School from basically the main character's high school, because each trio range from a different school. But Taiyo High School, which is the main character's school, it's Batsu, Hinata, and Kyosuke's school. I'm going to play their song from Rival Schools, PSX version, and then I'm gonna play their song from Project Justice, which is totally different. We're gonna play those for two now. Both Rooftop of Taiyo High School, but completely different. One's from Rival Schools, one's from Project Justice. Yeah. rival schools. I'm gonna forever miss that series, along with Power Stone and Darkstalkers and Mega Man Legends and pretty much everything Mega Man in general. It's a rough time for Capcom right now. I mean, granted, I'm gonna buy Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite when that comes out in about a month, but they've long since passed their glory days. But you know, Arc System Works is right around the corner, just waiting to steal the crown with Dragon Ball Fighters and that Arxis crossover game, which I'm still unsure of the actual name. It's like Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle. I think I got it. But anyway, enough about complaining about the past and what Capcom will never bring back. Let's talk about some present stuff. One of my games of the year that I picked. There's 3 I currently have. One I've already talked about ad nauseum already. I've talked about Persona 5 over and over and over and over again on this show. And one I'm going to talk about in length later on, Sonic Mania, since it just came out about a week ago. The third game in my Game of the Year contenders list is Nier Automata, or Automata. I believe it's Automata because Automata sounds stupid. Anyway, Nier Automata was a really, really amazing game. Like for me personally, like a couple of my friends referred to it as a Bayonetta RPG, and they're not completely far off with that comparison, because like it's a platinum game, obviously, so the way the character action controls is going to be very solid naturally, but just the overall story and like the amount of choices you have to make, and it's just the entire vibe is very powerful and very strong. It's a very thematic game. Like I can't really, me talking about it isn't going to do it enough justice. You have to actually play it. It's on Steam and PlayStation 4. I believe it's discounted on Steam now. I think it's like $39.99, maybe $40 now. But I definitely highly recommend playing that game at least once, because there's about 6 endings. Well, there's over 20 endings, but only 6 of them are actually relevant to the story. I definitely recommend playing it at least 3 times. But one of the standout things about that game, more so than anything else, is the music. That game's soundtrack is second to none. It is out of this world. Like the orchestral scores in that game just blow a lot of games out of the water, and it's really, really well done. It's probably my favorite game to come out of Square Enix in the past couple years, because I've been kind of like lukewarm on Square Enix, to be perfectly honest, but I'm starting to get back into it. I played Final Fantasy 15 earlier this year, and that was decent. I wouldn't say it's amazing. Visually it was amazing, but like story-wise it was alright, and the music was decent. I like the battle system in that game, but we're not talking about Final Fantasy 12. We're not talking about Final Fantasy 15. I said 12. I haven't played 12 in years. Anyway, let's bang out a couple of Nier Automata tracks. 3 of my favorites. They're all really good. There's like over 80 songs in the game, I think. But I want to play 3 that I've like narrowed down for now. I would probably come back and play more songs from that game, but as of right now, I want to play these 3. Wretched Weaponry, Memories of Dust, and Birth of a Wish. All are really, really strong orchestral scores. I'm going to play all 3 of them in a row. Wretched Weaponry, Memories of Dust, and Birth of a Wish. All right here, right now. Woo! I love that last one. Birth of a Wish is so good. I love that song. There's like 3 different versions of it, and that's like the most intense version of it, which I think is probably the best version. But anyway, oh man, love that game. I'm probably gonna play that again, like next couple weeks. The best way I could probably plug that game, or just I'd rather sell that game to you, is if you like Devil May Cry or Bayonetta, or just the Hideki Kamiya style of character action games with some RPG elements in it and a really actually engaging story. That's Nier Automata, basically. I'd highly recommend it. I've said that like 6 times already. Definitely check that out. If you haven't played it already, you need to play it. That's a Chaz pick right there. That is a Chaz selection. But anyway, moving on. Next subject. Let me talk about my past and present with the anime series One Piece. In 2007, I was probably the biggest One Piece fan of all time. Period. Dot. Flash forward to maybe 3 or 4 years, not so much. I mean, I still follow it to a degree, but just not as much as I did. I pretty much follow One Piece now through video games. Specifically the Musou games, the One Piece Pirate Warriors, and a couple of the fighting games that would come out that range between decent and not so great. I'm a really big fan of the Musou side games where they take basically pretty much the Dynasty Warriors formula and they make spin-offs based on anime or other video game properties. I really like those. Probably one of my favorite ones is the One Piece ones. And I'm currently playing One Piece Pirate Warriors 3 on this channel as for a Let's Play, which you could catch every other Sunday. One Piece Pirate Warriors has a really strong soundtrack too. Specifically, the third game is really, really well done. Like, usually in Warriors games, you get a lot of, I hate using this term, but I'm going to use it, butt rock, just generic, you know, that type of stuff. But with the One Piece games, they decide to go with like a lot of like festive big band jazz stuff, which I think really works for One Piece in general. All of it's really strong. I haven't finished the game because it's somewhat long, but from what I have played of it, it has great music. Specifically, I've narrowed down 2 songs that I really, really liked. Those 2 songs, I'm going to pull up the titles and forget. The first stage is called The First Friend. And then the second stage is called Let's Put This Matter Under. Or Put It to Rest, or whatever you want to say. It gets lost in translation a lot, but I'm going to play those 2 songs. Great for a Musou game. Great for One Piece. I'm going to play them both. The First Friend and Let's Put This Matter Under. Man, that game is so fun. All of the One Piece ones are really fun, especially the third one. Anyway, let's get to another matter at hand. A lot of people will not necessarily complain, but they will comment that I don't have a lot of vocal songs on these shows, despite the fact that last show I had about 2 vocal songs on it. But let's add some more. Let's make that consistent. Like, I have two. The next 2 tracks I'm going to play are both vocal songs. One is from a series I haven't actually played, but I've watched people play it. I kind of find more enjoyment in that. For example, the next song I'm going to play is from the Walking Dead Telltale series. I've never actually played the Walking Dead Telltale games. I've just watched specific groups of Let's Players play them, and I get more enjoyment out of that than actually playing it. Because, like I said, I'm not really into Walking Dead like that, but I just like seeing their reactions to what they do via the game. And a lot of these Telltale games don't really have a lot of memorable music in it. However, I watched a duo of Let's Players finish The Walking Dead Season 3 Telltale, and there's this phenomenal, really creepy, eerie song that plays at the end of it. I really liked it. I was hooked immediately when I heard it during their Let's Play of it. It's amazing. The song is called Grim Ranger, and it's by a band called Lungs and Limps. Lungs and Limps. Phenomenal, really. It sets the tone of that whole, zombie apocalypse vibe. It's a great song. And the second vocal song I'm going to play is from the fighting game that I'm currently playing. Under Night In Birth EXE Late ST. It's a stupid name. A lot of Arc Sys fighting games have dumb names, and that is the dumbest of those names. But I like the game a lot, and that's what I'm playing currently. And the opening cinematic to that game is really cool too, but it's more of what you'd expect from a Japanese fighting game. It's typical J-rock, what you'd expect, but it's still cool. I like it a lot. The name of that song is called Unknown Actors, but and the vocalist is Sakura Ishado. I probably butchered that name, but anyway, those are the next 2 songs on the docket. Walking Dead Season 3, the ending credit song is called Grim Ranger by Lungs and Limps. I can't pronounce Limps for some reason. And the Under Night In Birth EXE Late ST, or Late Esto, as it says in the title when you play the game. Unknown Actors by Sakura Ishado. I'm going to play those 2 right now.
Waiting for you. He was waiting up on the outskirts. Starlight fell on his face. Oh, I said it, don't you go out there. I won't get him to stay. Stay. Oh, 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 oh. Light to blind me. For in these eyes, there's never enough light to blind me. But at night, I don't go out too far. there's never enough light to blind me. Oh, 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 light to blind me. For in these eyes, there's never enough light to blind me. But at night I don't go out too far. Blinded eyes, blinking stars, all the thing that I hope to hit ain't just the dark, it's the dark in you. And at night I don't go out too far. Blinded eyes, blinking stars, all the thing that I hope to hit ain't just the dark, it's the dark in you. And I know, waiting on the outskirts, waiting for you.
That's solid stuff. I need to play some Under Night tonight because I haven't played in a while. But it's hard to play other games when Sonic Mania is out right now. What a transition. You like that, right? Anyway, what can I not say about Sonic Mania that I haven't said about 3,000 times already in social media and everything else? This game, Sonic Mania, is probably the best Sonic game to come out in a decade or longer, since this is the 25th anniversary of Sonic. That's what this game is celebrating. It's a game of the year contender for me, like, bar none, no doubt. And I don't know why Sega didn't hire Christian Whitehead, who's the guy who programmed the game. I don't know why they didn't hire him years ago. Because this is what Sonic has needed for a very, very long time. I'm going to go off on a little bit of a rant here, I'm sorry. But this game is fantastic. It's 5 stars. It is pretty much what Sonic 4 should have been back in 2009, but it's clear that Sonic Team doesn't have a clear grasp of what they're doing with Sonic anymore, which is ironic considering their name. But Sonic Mania is fantastic. Everything from the way it plays identical to a Genesis game. It feels right. Like, the running feels great. The jumping feels good. I can't stand the bonus stages still, but, like, that's a nitpick because I never liked Blue Spheres from Sonic 3, but I know a lot of people who do appreciate that being back. And, like, the opening animation is fantastic too. It's just, it's great. It is exactly what you would want from a Sonic game. It's everything you would need. In fact, you should be, while you're listening to this, you should be on Amazon buying the game. It's only $20. You should be going to get it right now. Just get that download code immediately. Just get it. It's on Steam. Well, it's not on Steam yet. It's not going out on Steam for another 2 weeks. But it's on PlayStation 4. It's on Nintendo Switch. I believe it's on Xbox too. In fact, let me make sure I'm not talking out my ass right now. Yeah, it's on Xbox and Switch and PlayStation 4. And it's going to come out on Steam in 2 weeks. Let's talk about the music specifically, because T. Lopes, the guy who arranged a lot of the, because in this game specifically, the majority of the stages are throwbacks to the previous games, like, well, the previous 2D games, which there's some Sonic 1 callbacks, or some Sonic 2 callbacks, 3 / Sonic and Knuckles, and some Sonic CD callbacks. As well as there's a couple of original stages. They're all modeled great. All of them are fantastic. The level design is just solid. There's nothing wrong with the stages at all. If I could complain about anything about that, I wish there were more original stages as opposed to just going back and, like, pulling Green Hill Zone and Chemical Plant and all those other stages back again. But the way this game handles them is just great, because they're the same stages, but the maps are, like, completely different, and it just works great. I've said great about 80 times, but I can't stress enough how good this game is. And it's the best, like, critically acclaimed, which is saying a lot for a Sonic game, because Sonic games, like, in the past, like, 10 years have not done great as far as, like, reviews and, like, you know, critical acclaim. I'll say it again. But, man, it's just, I can't say enough about it. And I'm going to stop talking about it. I'm just going to play my favorite songs from it, specifically. Like, T. Lopes, he's worked on Sonic. He's composed music for Sonic fan games before. And same thing with Christian Whitehead, who's the head programmer. He's worked on Sonic fan games, and they both recently got picked up to work on this game specifically. And that's great. They should do more with them. Like, every 2D Sonic game from this point on should just be with them and no one else. Like, ever. But anyway, I'm going to play my 3 of my favorites. Honestly, I could just have an entire episode where I play Sonic Mania music, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to play these 3 songs that are the best, in my opinion. I'm going to play first Stardust Speedway Act 1, which is a remake of the Sonic CD stage. And that, I'm not even going to talk about it. I'm just going to play them. Next is Chemical Plant Act 2. I think everyone can agree that song is amazing, especially this arranged version of it. And thirdly, I'm going to play Press Garden, Zone Act 2, which is a new stage. And it's a great new stage. And I'm not going to talk about the stage because you need to just go out and buy the game and so you can play it and experience it for yourself. But I'll play these songs. Stardust Speedway, Act 1. Chemical Plant, Act 2. Press Garden, Act 2. Yes, buy this game right now. I don't work for Sega. I said that before. But just go buy it. Go buy it right now. Just go open the tab. Do it now. Do it right now. Have you bought Sonic Mania yet? Anyway, before I go into viewer requests, I have a question for anyone listening live and whoever listens to this in post. Has there been any game that you have bought multiple times out of sheer love for the game, or you just want to support the developers? I've done that numerous times. Sonic Mania just being the latest example of that. I got a list, just I can get off the top of my head. I bought King of Fighters 14 twice. I've bought Tales of Vesperia twice. I bought Tales of Xillia twice. I think I've bought KOF 98, King of Fighters 98 about 4 times now. I think I've bought Mario 3 about 5 or 6 times, depending on the platform. And let's see. There's a couple other ones that I'm not thinking about. Yeah, Wild Guns Reloaded, when that came out, I bought that twice. Bought the PlayStation 4 and the Steam version. I double dip a lot. In fact, I used, like, when I was younger, I used to, like, frown upon people who did that. It was like, how could you buy the same game twice? That's ridiculous. That's stupid. Now I do it all the time. I think it's now because I have, like, a more, what's the word I'm looking for? Expendable income, I guess. That's not the phrase I'm looking for exactly, but I have more money to do that now. Now I'm more than willing to do it. I've bought so many games multiple times, but let's get off that. Anyway, it's viewer request time. About a couple weeks ago, I put out one of those things that I usually do, a little message via the Facebook and the Twitter about requesting songs. Didn't get a lot of requests this time around. A little disappointed, but it's all good. I got 3 as opposed to like 6 or 7 like I got the first time. It's all good. Got plenty of other opportunities to do so. But let's get down with those requests. First request is my buddy Josh, aka Ness Master on YouTube. He requested last time. He got another request. It's Ace Combat Assault Horizon. The track is called Dogfight. We're gonna play that first. And Julian, who's in the chat right now, he requested a Monster Hunter 4 song, specifically called Reincarnation of Light and Dark. We're gonna play that. And my homie Leonard also requested a song. He requested just anything else from Bomberman Hero, which is there's about 12 tracks in that game. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play those 3 songs in a row. I didn't even name what Bomberman Hero track I was gonna play, but I'll do that in a minute. First, it's Ace Combat Assault Horizon. The song's called Dogfight. The next song is Monster Hunter 4's Reincarnation of Light and Dark, and then finally, it is I chose the Bomberman Hero song. I'm gonna play Supplement from Bomberman Hero. That's one of my favorite songs in that soundtrack. So those 3 songs in a row. Let's do it right now. Alright, it's looking like it's the end of the road for this episode. Thank you everyone for tuning in. And for everyone who is listening to this after I finish recording it, like, you know, if you're listening to it on Vimeo, whatever. Updates. I'm planning on getting the show, the audio version of the show, well, it's all audio, what am I talking about? The audio version of the show on iTunes and SoundCloud. I'm working on it. I'm talking to the people who work through those channels. I'm trying to get this podcast on there so I can reach out to more people. Additionally, next Sunday, which is the 27th, Sonic Mania playthrough will happen then. Tune into that. We'll start around 7, probably 7 or 8, like we did with this. What else? Oh yeah. Next Sunday, Sonic Mania. Following Sunday, Mark's gonna play more Resident Evil 4, and I'm gonna play more One Piece Pirate Warriors 3. That should be fun. That's September 3rd, I believe. That's the following Sunday. That should be great. I'm gonna close out with one last song, but first I'm gonna plug my channels. Don't be afraid to go to otakugamerspot.com, which is the main site. YouTube.com/CJBlogman, which is the YouTube channel. I'm gonna type all these in here so you guys don't have to worry about just learn how to spell them. What else? There's the Twitter, twitter.com/Chazmosis, CHAZMOSIS. There's the Facebook, facebook.com/OtakuGamerspot. And I think that's it. And of course, here, the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Chazmosis for weekend whatever stream stuff. This show, and more. One more thing, which is going to lead into my last track. Some of you may or may not have heard of a composer on YouTube named Rukunetsu. Pretty popular, does a lot of anime and video game remixes. I've been talking to him a lot back and forth on Twitter. I'm going to interview him for an artist spotlight article. It's going to be the first article I've written in like maybe a year and a half. Going to interview him. He's a cool dude. I'm going to play one of his tracks now. You can check him out at his YouTube channel. I don't know the URL, but you can just type in Rukunetsu, Rukunetsu, and he should be the only person that comes up, honestly, because he has so many songs out. He's been doing it for about a couple years. I'm going to play a remix he did of Disco Train from Donkey Kong Country 2. He did a remix of it. It's really cool. He called it New Age Disco Train. I'm going to play that as the closing song. Thank you for listening. Peace out. I'm gone.